Howdy, 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 guys. Welcome to another Monday. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Man, it feels good to be indoors right now. A little hot outside. We'll talk about that in a second. Hope y'all are all doing fantastic. Welcome to June, 12th, something like that. I don't know. We're definitely in the summertime. We should be getting ready for Big Brother, right? Yeah, we got to be a little more patient this year, but hope y'all are all doing well. Let me start off with a big old SKD 143. Love my wife. Love my kids, love reality TV fans in general, but especially you guys out here watching it live or watching on replay, either one. Thank you. It always makes me feel good to come out here and see all you guys. So I hope you're doing fantastic. I'll say this before I move into topics and see who all's out here and all that. If you haven't already signed up, and there may be a few new viewers out here because I did a podcast or two last week. So if there's some new viewers out here, welcome, first of all. But in addition to that, if you want to go out and turn on your subscription to this YouTube channel, who knows, once Big Brother finally starts out, I'll be doing the morning recaps of what happened overnight, but who knows what I'll be doing. So you can turn on your notifications, subscribe, and you give a little thumbs up while you're out there as well. All right, enough of that. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Let me go out here and see who all is out here before I got a few topics, but as always, man, whatever y'all are up for as well, I am looking forward to this evening. All right, let me scoot up. Hey, y'all been talking away out here. That's what happens when I come on just a couple of minutes late, right? Ma is angry. The first one here. Ma, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. Amanda Lowe, Brian Hostetler, Marilyn Sutherland, Mark Taylor, Michelle Moore, Andy W., Jake the Horror Movie Geek, Cindy Heyer, Keith Franken. Man, I know every single one of you guys. That is so cool. Let's see who else we got. Kiki as well. Hey, Kiki, how are you doing? And as I scoot on down, that may be it for right now. I don't want to leave anyone out, though. Vicky Stone, if I didn't mention before, Vicky, I can't remember. And all right, we'll call it Noah James. See, Noah, I want to make sure I caught everyone who's out here making comments. And for those of you who aren't out here actually making comments but watching, welcome to y'all as well. Tammy Flanagan, Miss Fire, Marion, my mom's out here. Hey, Mom. Good to talk to you again. Dave Moram as well. Hey, Dave, how are you? And Barbara Schultz. And I think that takes care of it for right now. If I missed any names, sorry about that. Y'all know it's not intentional, right? I love seeing all of y'all out here. So welcome aboard for the next hour. I actually got to have a little bit of Big Brother information, so that's kind of exciting. And then whatever else we got going on. Before we do that, and I'll go through look at these comments in a second as well and answer a few questions and comments on. But before I do that, I have to follow up with the little teaser I had on there on my reminder and the background as well and all that. Today in history, 1981, one of my all-time favorite movies. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to hum that and then I'm going to get shut down for copyrights or something, right? Jake the Horror Movie Geek is saying, hola, great thumbnail, Indiana Hog or Cliff Jones. Well, I'm a Texas guy, so maybe it just needs to be Tex Hog. How about that? Would that work? I don't know. I've worked a bullwhip before. I could probably do something like that. I can certainly, I think I proved while I was in the Big Brother house, I could handle rolling balls and all of that. Now, if they're rolling towards me, maybe a little bit different, but I think it'd be all right. So just call me Tex Hog. I already got the cap, right? I just need to find some golden treasure and that I can go, not loot, because he was Indiana Jones was kind of a bad archaeologist as far as it goes, right? Taking all these priceless possessions and all that, but, we'll give him a little attitude. I loved Indiana Jones. Came out on this day. It premiered in 1981. So who was I? 16 years old at the time, I think. I think I was 16. I just loved it. So great. Yeah, he'd already been famous because of Star Wars. And then he came along and did this whole other trilogy. I guess it's up to pentology or something, right? There's one coming out right now. How old can you be and you're still out there fighting the good fight? No issue. I hope I'm doing the same thing. But yeah, I guess that's the first question I got for you guys. Harrison Ford, Han Solo, or Indiana Jones? What's y'all's favorite pick? I got mine. You may be able to tell, but I got mine. But I'm curious to see what y'all say as well. Which is your favorite, the Han Solo or the Indiana Jones? I still remember when it came out. Just so much excitement. When I was a little kid, we used to watch, I think it was on Saturday afternoons, they'd have science fiction films and things like, just kind of cheesy movies that you could watch. It's before we had 200 channels to watch. But one channel had kind of sci-fi shows. But every once in a while, instead of commercials, they would have little clips from like 1950s serials, like Flash Gordon. It'd be like a little 5-minute bit. There's always a cliffhanger. You'd have to wait to the next week to see the next one. Indiana Jones just kind of reminded me of that. Just the old-fashioned swashbuckling. That's not the word I'm looking for. Just the old-fashioned adventure kind of thing. I love Tarzan movies when I was growing up, and Indiana Jones was kind of the next one. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure to talk about it. Indiana Jones premiered on this day only 42 years ago. God, that's amazing. Makes me feel kind of old. Love me some Indiana Jones. All right, what else is going on? I've got a few comments before we go on with that. Mark Taylor saying, another today in history was Anne Frank and George Bush's birthday. George Herbert Walker Bush, the elder George Bush, who passed. That's been a few years now, but he was down here in Houston. I've met both of them over the years. George Bush Sr., he was always in Houston. Man, he'd go to the rodeo. You'd see him down. I'll never forget watching a George Strait concert. We were kind of up in the nosebleed section, but George Bush Sr. was down in the pretty close up. He wasn't even on the first row. Can you imagine you're president and they still don't give you first row seats? But he's sitting there. He's got popcorn. I think he had some family with him and all that. But I laughed so much because I watched at one point, he's eating the popcorn. He hands it to the people on either side of him, his family members. And then he turns around. He starts just handing it out to other people, just random people that just happen to be sitting next to him. He was a very approachable guy. Consider he'd been president and all that. So, yeah, George Bush's birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. You're a heck of a man. And Anne Frank's diary as well. Who would have thought? I saw it. In 1942, she got that diary. It's really sad that within just a couple of years, her life had been turned so upside down. Her whole family. We could have a whole story about the horrors of that. But, yeah. But having said all that, a diary, such a personal little gift just for, what was she, 12 years old or something at the time, and she gets this diary. And yet it's taught so many people about the horrors of what happened with the Holocaust and all that. Just one girl keeping track of it. You never know when you may have a chance to change the world, and you don't even know about it. So, yeah, both of them gone at this point, but both of them huge impacts in the world, right? All right, what else do we have? Ma saying, first show as an adult. Ma, happy birthday to you. Your birthday was on Saturday. All right, I knew it was last weekend at some point. Happy birthday to you. So happy. And to you and Keith and any of the other graduates. I think everyone's graduated now that's graduating. But if not, let me know. But happy birthday to you. Happy graduation to all of y'all as well. Kiki saying birthday was on the 8th. Had a pink Barbie party. Same birthday party theme I had on my 8th birthday. No, not necessarily. But happy birthday to you, Kiki. That new Barbie's movie's coming out. I've heard so many people talking about it. That's going to be kind of interesting to go see as well. So, yeah, happy birthday to you on your birthday. And all these people have all these celebrations going on. That's pretty good. So, welcome. Mark is saying Avenger 10. August 10th. Sorry. Fix my glasses. August 10th is the start of the Challenge USA. All right. I heard a little rumor, and I can't go into detail because I don't know. I know someone from Survivor 43 who's going on the challenge. And I can't say anything more than that because one, it's not confirmed. Two, I don't know if it's public, and I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But I heard a little rumor that was the case. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. I need to catch up. I haven't been following the challenge as much these last couple of seasons that were on Paramount instead of MTV. It's just different, but that's all right. I'm going to catch up with it and watch it again. So thank you for that. I appreciate the update. So we've got the challenge on August 10th. On August 2nd, it's the 2nd, right? We've got Big Brother. It's going to be a busy end of the summer with those two reality shows kicking in and all the other ones that, when does Survivor start? There's going to be overlap between Big Brother and Survivor, a lot more than is usual, right? So, yeah, I better get my sleep now because I know how it's going to turn once we start doing all of this. All right, what else do we have going on here? Vicky Stone saying, Mr. Hogg may have melted. It's hot in Texas. Yeah, all right, here's the thing. I was looking through backgrounds for Indiana Jones, and I was going to do like the temple and the Ark of the Covenant and stakes everywhere. they were all dark. They wouldn't have really stood out. And then I found this one back here. You can see it. It's them old digging in the Moroccan desert. I think that's where they are, Morocco or somewhere. Digging away, just looks hot and miserable. That's what I'm feeling like right now. It was 95, 96 degrees here in Houston. Summer is certainly here. It's even worse for the people that were at Intercontinental Airport, Houston's big airport. Their AC system shut down. They said at one point, like at 1 o'clock this afternoon, it was 80 degrees inside the terminal. How brutal is that? You're locked in. You can't go outside because of security and all that. So you're stuck inside. None of those windows open. It's just a big old area with a whole bunch of hot, sweaty people and nowhere to get a breeze going whatsoever. That sounds absolutely brutal to me. So yeah, it's a little warm down here in Houston. We certainly have our summer going on. It does remind me when I was in the Big Brother house, that last competition, win it and you're in it. The final veto competition where Nicole and I knew if either one of us won that veto, we were going to send Mickey out the door, and it was going to be the perfect three, the final three that we wanted, Holly and Nicole and myself. I've always wondered if Holly had won that final veto, could we have convinced her to get rid of Mickey? Even though they were a couple and all of that, could we have convinced her to get rid of him based on convincing her that there's no way any one of us could beat him in front of the jury? I don't know. I kind of don't think so, but Holly was a strategic player, so maybe so. But that competition we had, I think I've mentioned this before, but if not, we had a random draw. That was a timed event. Do you remember we had to go outside, involve balls with giant slingshots? You had to knock pictures down of different house guests based on questions that were asked. And so it was a timed event. We went out one at a time. We drew chips to see who went first, second, third, and fourth. Nicole drew the first spot. I drew the second, then Holly, then Mickey. So when Nicole went out there, it was noontime. When I went out there, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock or so in the afternoon. The sun was directly overhead. That AstroTurf grass they had in that backyard, so brutally hot. The walls up high, so there was no breeze coming in whatsoever. And it was a long competition. I think my time I was longer than anyone else, but mine was like 32 minutes or something, if I recall, maybe even a little longer. It was a long competition. I was so hot. It was the most miserable I've been in a long time in terms of temperatures. And I've been to hot places around the world. I've been to Dubai in the middle of summer. I've been to Saudi Arabia in the middle of summer. Nothing as hot as that grass in that backyard on that particular day. Plus, there was so much stress going on knowing that I really need to win that competition. And I got so hot that I could just barely stand and run and pick up the balls. At one point, the producers who were up on the second level watching and, all that, they said, Cliff, you're getting overheated. Stop for a second, get a drink of water, go stand over in the corner where we've got a big tube blowing cold air down because it's so hot. We've got this giant temporary AC thing blowing. Go stand under there for a minute, drink some water because you're too hot. I tell them, I said, guys, I'm fighting for my life here. I'll stop and get a drink of water, but I can't go stand under the cold air until I finish this up. They didn't. They suggested a few times. I said, I just can't do it, guys, unless you tell me you're going to stop the clock. Yeah, I can't do that. So I got a drink of water, kept going. I finished the competition. I was drained. By the time I got done, I could barely walk back inside the house. In fact, I had to stop, take a little break by the kitchen just because I was so hot. They sent me directly to the diary room. When I got there, there was an EMT there who took my temperature and said, yeah, you're way overheated. And they had ice packs from my neck, underneath my arms. Everything short of just taking an ice bath. And I had to sit in there for a while they cooled me down, had me drink some electrolytes and things like that. Eventually, I got done with that, and they said, all right, Cliff, while the other people are doing the competition, go take a shower, a cold shower, and stand under there and just chill out, literally. So that's what I did while Mickey and Holly and then Mickey did their competitions. And eventually I was okay. The next day was the day that Mickey and Holly told Nicole that I was going home. They were going to break their promise and send me home instead. It was so rough because I knew something was up, but I couldn't go in the backyard. I had been prohibited by the doctors from going into the backyard because they were worried about heat exposure and all that. They said, today, Cliff, you were stuck in the house. You have to stay inside. I complained enough that finally they said, okay, you can go out for 30 minutes, once or twice during the day, and that's it. So yeah, it was hard. That was hot, but I'm a Texas guy. I should be used to it, but I'll always remember that particular day. It was a rough day, not just because of the results, but just because it was just hot. Just hot. I didn't like it at all. All right, Marion saying, do you think the House might have changed had Mickey got voted out instead of Jake Matthews? You know, it's interesting. I saw, I think on Reddit, and I go out there every once in a while. Reddit had a similar question posed just not too long ago, saying, what if, and I remember how exactly how it worked that the question was, but yeah, that's interesting. It's really interesting because when it came down to Jessica, when she won the HOH and then she won the veto, so she didn't change it. We knew either Mickey or Jack was going home. I hoped I was in that position during my HOH, but then Mickey won the veto, and I knew Christy had that, what was it, Diamond Power veto, Platinum, whatever it was, that she could pick who went back on the block. Screwed up my HOH completely. But when Jessica won veto so that she controlled who went back or who the final two were on the block, we knew it was one or the other. Talking about some celebrating. I certainly felt closer at that point in time to Mickey. I'd been trying to work with him a little bit. And so at that time, my preference was to have Jack go home. I thought Jack was a much stronger kind of linchpin. I'd already heard Christy complaining about Mickey. So I thought if Christy and Mickey were still in the house together, they would eventually blow up against each other. Whereas Jack seemed to still be on good terms with everyone on that alliance. So at the time, I really wanted Jack gone more so than Mickey. But now looking back, if Mickey had gone home instead, and Jack offered me like 6 weeks of protection. I was like, you both, there's no way you can offer me that much and actually follow through with it. But he offered me the moon to try to vote the other way. And I said, man, I just can't do it. But if we had sent Mickey home instead of Jack, you wouldn't have had that showmance. Holly would have suddenly, I think, gotten a lot tighter with Tommy and Kat. Kat and her probably would have then pulled together a lot more. I think Jack would have run the house for a while, but I think eventually he and Christy would have had a falling out as well. I really think if you'd had that happen, if Jack had stayed and Mickey had gone home, you may not have seen the alliance blow up when it did. I think it could have been a few weeks later, which wouldn't have been good for me. If I had to guess, I think Tommy probably had the inside track to maybe win the whole game if Mickey was gone, because everyone loved Tommy. No one wanted to get rid of him. He was good about pulling people together. You wouldn't have seen some of the controversy that blew up when Mickey said, "Yeah, y'all know each other," or Jack saying, It would, yeah. I think Tommy may have won the whole thing if it'd been different, but who knows? There's so many things that could have happened between then and the end. But yeah, it would have been kind of interesting. That's a great question. I love thinking about those kind of things and the what ifs type situations. We'll never know, but yeah, every once in a while it's fun to think about. All right, Mark's saying, give us Big Brother 25 information. All right, I don't have a lot of Big Brother 25 information. August 2nd, right? I've heard all new contestants, no returnees or anything. Now watch, they're going to turn around and bring one returnee back or something. I hate that. Yeah, either bring all of them back, maybe 50-50. If not, give me all newbies. I hate when they have just one or two people come back. It just doesn't really seem fair to me at all when you do that. I hated when Paul lost his first season, was at 18, came back for 19, got to play right at. Didn't like that, but well, whatever. But yeah, I think all new people, as far as I know, all live feeds 24/7 or as close as they can get it, right? So that's about the scoop I have on Big Brother. Let me look at what I had on here because I did take it. All right, some other Big Brother information. We're just not there on USA, right? But I do have some info on some other Big Brother around the world. Big Brother Canada, Ika, I think is the one who announced that they've renewed Big Brother Canada for season 12. Yay. Wasn't sure. 11 got a little bit of negative press. People were upset with that live feeds and all that. But she's come back and said, yes, there will be a season 12. They haven't said anything about live feeds. I have a feeling it's going to be just like this year, which I don't like at all. It just changes the whole game way too much. But they must have been feeling the heat as well. If they were so quick to announce that there's going to be a season 12, they must have heard all the rumors that, is it going to come back? Is it not going to come back? Because they jumped on that real quick. So we are going to get a Big Brother season 12, Big Brother 25 here in the U.S. The other thing that I've heard that I thought was interesting, if you go out to the CBS website, they're no longer casting for Big Brother 25. It says now that casting is open for Big Brother 26. Yeah, Brian mentioned that they're not casting for BB 26. You know, I'm all for getting your tapes in as quick as possible. I always say tapes, and I know that's not it. Getting your videos in as quickly as possible, but I wouldn't be in a hurry to send them right now. Everyone is focused on 25 right now. Wouldn't it be funny if you sent in and said, hey, this is for 26, and something happened last minute. Next thing you know, you're on 25 after all. Not saying it's impossible. My guess as far as 25, I saw someone had posted, said, oh, they must have already decided on who all they want, casting and all. They've settled on that. I bet they haven't. I bet they're still out there. Where are we? Let's see, it's middle of June, July, August. So say you're 6 weeks out from Big Brother. They probably have it down to 25 people or so, is my guess. And no one's told me anything. I'm just guessing based on my season. They probably have it down to 25 or so people. Of those 25 or so, I'm sure the producers probably know who they want. They probably have their top 20 maybe, right? Maybe top 18. They know probably who they want on there, with a few extra people that, hey, if something doesn't quite work out, we've got these. But I'm sure they're to the top 25. So they probably have a good feel on who's going to be in the house, who are going to be the alternates. I asked before how many alternates they have, and they wouldn't tell me. Of course they wouldn't tell me. But they're probably settled. But I bet they're still playing around a little bit to see just how those puzzle pieces fit together. But there's still probably conversations to be had, because I know during my season, they were casting for us, shoot, right up until the very end. We went in the house or got seized on middle of June. Whereas I know like Nicole and David, they showed up in LA for some finals casting middle of May, end of May. And that's pretty close to when the season starts. So I have a feeling some of that is still going on now. But somewhere, someone knows who's probably going to be in that house. And I wish I could go visit with them and get a little information, because how fun would that be? And how fun would it be if one of those people going into the house is one of you out here, or possibly someone who's watching my show that isn't posting any comments, because I'm sure they've been warned, don't do anything that may bring attention to yourself, just in case. Just play it cool and all of that. So if one of y'all are out there watching, thinking, I'm going to watch Cliff Notes Live, get some information, some inside scoop and all that, yes, you can. DM me, let me know. Other than having a loudmouth inside the Big Brother house, other than that, I keep secrets well. I help you out however I can. I give you packing help, whatever I can do, because I'd be so happy to. It's so cool knowing people when they're getting ready to go in to have such a great experience. Oh, always so cool. All right, what else do we have? And I'll get back to that in a second. Maureen Carroll saying, hey, Cliff, watching you while waiting in the ER. Well, now that's not good. On the one hand, I'm glad I can keep you a little bit entertained, because I know there's nothing fun about being in an ER. You're not feeling, you or family members aren't feeling well. You're worried about them. You're worried about all the other people in that ER with you that are coughing and sneezing, and you're picturing the worst. Of course, you probably weren't until I mentioned it. The worst possible things they may be suffering from. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for watching. And, if you get back into the treatment room or whatever, they'll probably be irritating the doctors if you're watching while they're, open your mouth, let's check your temps and things like that. But I hope everything works out. I hope it's just a temporary, minor deal. Make sure you check in with me next Monday so I know everything's okay. All right, Cindy Hire saying, going to visit daughter in Vegas. Well, that's a great way to start. Both of those sound pretty cool. Going to a concert. Should I see Carrie Underwood or Keith Urban? Oh, I don't know. I like Keith Urban. I like a lot of his music and everything, but for just a big old grandeur kind of concert that I can just imagine is, I don't know. I think when I think of Carrie Underwood, I think more of chandeliers and fancy outfits and everything else. Keith Urban, I think of a beach and flip-flops and just a basic old shirt and all of that. it's just perception, right? But I love Keith Urban music. I love Jimmy Buffett. I like the beach kind of sound that singer country music has. But Carrie, I know what man, I like her music. Before he cheats and some of those, she's got some great ones. So that's my vote. But you can't really go wrong. You can't go wrong at the concert. You're seeing your daughter, and you're in Vegas. Man, I'm a little envious, Cindy. That's pretty good. Sharon and I were laughing because we were talking about Vegas. We used to go to Vegas every single year. That was just like our annual kind of quick little vacation when we first got married. Then we didn't get pregnant. Sharon got pregnant. I had a little bit to do with it as well, but she was the one that was pregnant. And we took our last trip to Vegas in 95, right before, a few months before Kelly was born. I'm telling you, talk about hot. Going to Las Vegas in the summertime when you're 5 months pregnant or whatever, a little warm. I remember Sharon feeling a little uncomfortable walking the strip and all that. So, but it made a lot more fun playing craps and all, saying, baby needs a new pair of shoes. Literally. But we haven't been back to Vegas since 95. So I don't really even know Vegas now. It's only been 28 years. So, I'd love to go back. One of these days we're going to go back. Maybe we'll go back. We'll renew our vows. We'll go to one of those little wedding chapels, and we'll have a Elvis impersonator to be there. I get Daniel Durston from Big Brother last season. I bet he'd step in and do us some Elvis song. That'd be kind of fun. We'll have to talk about that. But have fun, Cindy. That's really cool. All of that sounds great, but getting to see your daughter is probably the biggest part of all. So congratulations. All right, Ma's saying, if Cliff and Nicole were the final two instead, who would have won? Well, trust me, I was prepared. I had my speeches made. I'd like to think I would win. I think I would without wanting to sound cocky or anything, but I think I had arguments if it had been the two of us. I would have gone in and said, look, because of my age and everything, I was a target from day number 1. Nicole was good until day 30. And when she got herself put on the block, I got sent home, but really it was only because y'all thought y'all could use Nicole, not because of strategy. I mean, I had some things I was going to say, but the main thing I was going to say, the first thing I was going to say was that Nicole's only here because of me, and I'm probably only here because of Nicole. I was going to make sure that they knew we were truly a ride or die couple, because I didn't want to throw her under the bus, and I don't think she wanted to throw me under the bus as well. So I was going to start it off by talking about neither one of us gets there without the other person. And then I was going to try to argue why maybe I had to fight just a little bit harder to get to the end. It really may come down to the very end in a final 3, who would have won and drugged the other one to a final 2. I think if I'd won and taken Nicole as my ride or die to a final 2, that would have been enough. If she'd won and she'd taken me, she may think that'd be enough for her. We'll never know. I will say this. I was really irritated after I got booted and we had to do the jury roundtable, and it was Nicole and Mickey and Holly still in the house. And I was a bit peeved that no one on that jury was giving Nicole more credit than they were. They were discounting everything that she had done. They felt like she was just a floater, that she really hadn't done anything to get where she was except not make anyone mad at her. And that wasn't the case. We had talked a lot all the way through, but unfortunately, some of Nicole, what she had done was more towards the end of the season. She won an HOH, a couple of HOHs. She won a veto as well. But most of these people were already out of the house by the time those things happened. So they hadn't really seen Nicole taking control of anything. And so I was upset when I heard the way they were talking at the time. Now after the fact, I hear all of them say, oh, we would have voted for her and all that. Yeah, that's a bunch of BS. They weren't giving her credit at all at the time. And because of that sentiment, I think I would have won. I'm pretty certain. I'm comfortable that I could have crafted the argument that would have allowed me to win. And I think that's the case. But it would have been brilliant. It would have been so great if we'd had that opportunity. And if I hadn't won, well, I sure would want Nicole to win if it wasn't me. And I'm sure she felt the same way, but it wasn't a B. So that's the way things go sometimes. All right. Mark's saying, how do they cover the pool for competition so people don't fall in? I don't know for certain because we were never out there while they were doing all that work. You know, they would close off the backyard. We'd hear all the pounding and nails and drills and everything else. I think that they must have just big plywood sheets that got to be pretty thick, right? Or some kind of beams that go across it and then wood on top. I'm trying to remember our different competitions. Most of our competitions didn't have a whole lot taking place over by the swimming pool where we would be running in that area. Usually that was over in a corner. They would have everything set up more towards the house or against the wall by kind of away from the pool and more towards the pool table and everything, that sidewall. Those were the two main areas where things took place so that you weren't walking all over the swimming pool. But there were one or twos like the Haunting of Caitlin Herman where we were right on top of it. I couldn't even tell. I walked right across it, couldn't even tell because they cover it up. Then they put AstroTurf or whatever mats or whatever they want on top. So you can't even tell. There's so much work they did, and I never saw it because we were locked inside. But it had to be tough to move because they had to move the pool tables. They had to move sometimes the washing machines and all of that, cover the pool, bring so much in to build it up. It's just a lot of work. I'm telling you, if I ever get the chance, if they'd ever let me, I would love to go out there and be part of a group that just did a behind the scenes filming everything that you don't normally see. Because I think a lot of people would love seeing what's involved in a week to week setting up a Big Brother competition and a week in the Big Brother house. Not from us inside the house, but from the people who have to do the production and everything. So much. It's like an army working there. So yeah, I don't know. They covered up somehow with plywood, I assume. All right, Misfire saying Big Brother is coming to Chile. Oh, that's good. I hablo español. Yeah, I could go to Chile and communicate with the folks in Chile. There's a lot of Big Brothers around the world. I've gone out and I've tried to find them. They're almost never accessible on YouTube or anything. But God, just every country it seems like has some. Africa's kind of cool because Africa has a Big Brother, but they don't necessarily have a country. They have in Nigeria, one of the biggest countries. And I think it's based in Nigeria, but they bring in one or two people from a lot of the countries all around Central and South Africa. And so you get an extra little element as well. I mean, is someone from South Africa going to be loyal to someone else from South Africa over Nigeria? I don't know. But yeah, they've got a lot of them all over the world. And speaking of some other Big Brother news, I mentioned Big Brother Canada. I mentioned Big Brother USA. You know, there's also a Big Brother Australia, right? And it's a little different from ours. I think the public votes people out and all that. So it's a little bit different, but they start filming this week. I don't know exactly when, but they start filming this week. But they have changed the way Big Brother Australia is going to work. And y'all tell me whether you like this or not. This season of Big Brother is called Big Brother House of Love. You know where I'm going, right? House of Love. They've got 16 contestants in the house. I think it's 14, actually. 14 contestants. They're all single. Every single one. Apparently, Big Brother's going to be kind of play Cupid. Big Brother's going to be pairing them up somehow. I'm sure all the competitions are going to involve typical, Love Island kind of comps. I'm guessing. So love is in the air. It's going to be. Get your nose off. Sorry about that, guys. It's going to be a combination of Big Brother and a dating show. And they've come out. I guess the publicists have said. Yes, there's other dating shows out there, but ours is going to be different. How's it going to be if you have a strong romantic relationship that you then have to vote out of the house, right? So they're going to set it up. They're going to force them to choose between, are you playing for the money? Are you playing for love? Who's doing what and everything? I don't know. I had enough showmances during my season. I'll watch it. I'm going to go out there and find it. I've watched a couple of seasons of Big Brother Australia before. I know some of the people who competed over there. And we've talked a little bit, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I had no showmances during my season. Put 16 married people on there. So you don't have any of that. Let's just focus on nothing but the strategy. I'd be curious to see how that played out as well. They're never going to do it over here because they like the showmances and everything. But I'd kind of like to see that. But yeah, so Australia's going to be very different. I'm going to watch it. I'll give you all updates. We'll talk about it. If I can find it. I think I can. Zachary Wise. Hey, Zach. How are you doing? Just wanted to pop in and say howdy. Zach's been out playing golf and just seeing the world, doing all kinds of fun stuff, working with Give Kids the World as well. So Zach, glad to see you in here. I follow you on Instagram. You live a wild life. You're always doing something fun and exciting. So that's kind of cool. All right. Amanda Lowe saying, loved when Jack and Mickey turned on each other. That was a great fight. Yeah. I was in there kind of, woohoo. Y'all seen that? Is it the one of Ron Paul songs go, it's happening, it's happening. I felt like that was in there when they turned on each other, and then Christy and Tommy are yelling, everyone's yelling at each other, and they kind of threw me under the bus a little bit in terms of what I'd heard and said and all that. But I was very peripheral to that whole argument. It was, and it was unnecessary. Mickey, as great a player as he was, he had a couple of boneheaded moments in his game that almost cost him. And him telling Jack that Kat and Holly knew each other, it's as boneheaded as you get. That the fact that he survived that was really incredible. I didn't think he was. I really, and he wouldn't have, except he just started winning competitions after that. It was purely being the beast, the comp beast that saved him, because yeah, he had people really, really upset with, which I liked. Once he felt a little more isolated from a lot of those folks over there, he was a lot more willing to bring me in and utilize me a little bit. And I was looking for some kind of big, strong comp player that could provide a little protection for me. So yeah, that was a glorious argument. I mean, in the real life, I hate to see people fighting inside the Big Brother house. As long as it ain't me, fight away. Make sure those guns and arrows are pointed somewhere other than me, and y'all fire away, and I'll just sit back and enjoy the results of it. Yeah, that was Big Brother is such a roller coaster of emotions. You can be so down one day, and then someone says something, Brussels sprouts, cat knows Holly, doesn't matter what. Someone says something, and 24 hours later, everything is flipped on a dime, and you feel like you're on top of the world. Yeah, for me, day 29, I'm on the block with Nicole. Nothing's looking good. Day 30, I've won the battle back. I've won HOH, and everything looks great. So what that's what makes it fun. All right, Moss saying, loved it when Hateful Eight blew up. Me too. Me too. Hateful Eight, Undeniable 9, 6 shooters, all of them. Alliances, though, over 6 people are extremely unstable. I know it. And that's what I tried to tell the right people while I was in the house. I brought Tommy in right after they booted me and said, Tommy, I understand maybe why y'all got me out, but you got to know, I'm not coming after you guys. I'm just willing to sit back because, and I said the same thing, an alliance over 6 is not stable. There's no way it's going to last. And once it blows up, Tommy, you love this game of Big Brother, you and Christy. I want to be playing with y'all. I want to be part of your group. But you and I both know that this alliance isn't going to last forever. So I really was trying to sell myself as someone valuable enough for him that he and Christy wouldn't get rid of me, that they could hold me onto me and use me for votes when this stuff blew up, because they saw it as well. Tommy was trying to pull people together, but we could all see it wasn't going to last forever. So I thought I made a big argument. Well, then after I get out of the house, I find out that Christy especially, but Tommy a little bit, but Christy especially, man, she was gunning for me from day number 1. So, yeah, but I outlasted her. So I hated to say goodbye to Christy. When I won that the veto during double eviction, there was a part of me that wanted to pull Christy off the block, send Mickey home instead. And if I'd done it, who knows what would have happened, but I still then would have had Christy and Tommy both gunning for me. I couldn't trust either one of them. So it's the way it worked out. But Christy and Tommy loved the game of Big Brother so much. So there's still a part of me that kind of hated to have to send them home, but they were too dangerous to keep in that house. Both of them. All right. Vicky Stone saying, if asked, would you go on Big Brother to host a challenge? Oh, that'd be so much fun. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a blast. Just to get back inside the house, say hello to everyone, let them know that we're cheering them on, sit in the backyard, watch them do some goofy whatever challenge it was. We had a few people during my season who hosted challenge. Of course, that was pre-COVID and all that, but let's see. KC was the first person that showed up and hosted the food kitchen, the school food fight or whatever that I was in. That was miserable. But she hosted that one. Tyler Crispin showed up, hosted our second veto, which was Silly Frogs or something. And that's a real nice guy. And then later we had, Caitlin Herman showed up. I love Caitlin. I love when she showed up. I was so excited to see her there. And she she does not take herself too seriously, which I like seeing. So Caitlin was there. And then later in the season, we had Swaggy and Bailey show up as well. So we had a few past house guests show up, and it was always special when we saw one of them come inside. So yeah, I'd love to do it. All I got to do is call. Heck, I'll be up. I'll be out there as quick as they'll let me in the door. So, yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. All right, what else do we have on here? Fred Benson saying, hey, Fred, Big Brother House of Love reminds me of Big Brother 9 USA. Till death do you part. Thoughts? It's been a while since I've seen Big Brother 9. Big Brother 9 is where they were linked up in the very beginning, right? I think Sheila and Adam were linked together. That was not a match made in heaven at all. That was a tough one. And then someone went home, and so someone else who had just been evicted got brought back in. I need to go back and watch that. I see people who do rankings of the different seasons, and Big Brother 9 is usually ranked a little bit towards the bottom. And I guess it's just because of that duo connection. I'm not a big fan of the seasons where you are linked to the hip playing the game with someone. We saw that last season with the Festy Besties. We saw it, I think, in season 9, if I recall, where you weren't getting sent home as a single. You kind of were tied in with someone else. I get it. It makes different strategy. It changes things up a little bit, but I like during my season knowing that win or lose, it was on me, right? I wasn't tied on to someone else. I didn't have someone else that if they made someone mad at them, that I was going to pay the price because of it. And so when you pair people up, you see some of that. Not my favorite. But yeah, I've met Sheila Kennedy before, and she's talked about that she and Adam just were not, there was nothing about those two that got along whatsoever. So of course he won the whole thing. So that was an interesting season. During a season, and even when they got out, those house guests continue to have different interesting little experiences and everything. And we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of where you pair them up, whether they're romances or not. And it sounds like the Australia, it's not just going to be two random people. It's going to be like, not Love is Blind. I can't even think of all of them. What's the one where the computer picks who should be together, and they've got to try to figure out who the computer picked? I think it was on Netflix a few years back. It reminds me of that one a little bit, because Big Brother is going to do everything possible to either put people together that they know showmance is going to develop, or put people together that they just know can't stand each other. That may be more fun to watch, but I'll be, as much as I may criticize it, I'll be watching it. Maybe we'll do some recaps of that. Maybe that'll be some extra. I need to figure out when it's actually going to broadcast, and maybe we can fill in some stuff on that one instead. Let me think about it. We'll see. All right, Ms. Fire saying, did you meet Tim from Big Brother Australia? No, I think I've talked to Tim. I haven't met any of them. There's Kieran, Marissa. There's a few different people, and Tim's one of the ones that it's really not more than reaching out and saying, hey, I'm Big Brother USA. I know you're on there. Congrats, for playing the game. And some of them we've talked about comparing their seasons and ours and all that. But yeah, I'd love to go over to Big Brother. I'd love to go over to Australia. And, it's cool because if I went over there, I wouldn't think twice about reaching out to some of the people who'd been on Big Brother Australia and saying, hey, I was on Big Brother USA. Could you maybe give me some advice on where I need to see or what part of town I need to stay in? I feel like just the connection of being on Big Brother gives me friends all over the world that I could reach out to. And I know if one of those guys from Australia came over here and said, hey, Cliff, I know you're in Big Brother and you live in Houston. Help us out with our Houston plans. I'd be driving around. I'd be doing whatever I could. It's just that cool connection, a global connection because of this show. But yeah, I haven't met any of them, but I've talked to a few of them, just all text and DMs, things like that. Mark is saying, if the writer's strike is still on, will it delay the start? I don't think so. I don't think anything about Big Brother falls underneath the writers, because where you get some script in terms of the, I guess what Julie said, we don't really have written scripts. I mean, we don't have scripts at all, but I guess when they write the rules to the games and things like that, but I think that's all outside what the writer's strike does. So it shouldn't be affected. I guess what could affect it is if you ever started having other unions that are part of Hollywood that started striking in sympathy with the writers, production, or I don't even know what they all are over there. Every kind of union you can imagine. I tried to fix the drain line in the washing machine out in the backyard once because they forgot to hook it up. All you have to do is go back there and take this little line and stick it in the hole. They wouldn't let me do it. And at the time, I thought it's because they were afraid I'd get hurt. And I kept saying, look, guys, I'm not going to get hurt. It's just sticking the thing. Cliff, don't touch it. Now I think it may be because there's probably a professional washing machine installation union or something I'm being serious. I think there were people probably who were part of a union that had to do all that kind of plumbing hookup and everything. And I'd probably be in violation if I did it. So who knows? If there's sympathy strikes, then I could see it going, delaying maybe. But other than that, I think we're good. I think August 2nd is going to be it because they're going to have to get content ready because of the writer strike affecting so much other stuff this fall. So fingers crossed. I can take August 2nd. I can't take much longer than that. Michelle saying, anyone watching Naked and Afraid? I'll watch every single one of them, Michelle. 21 days in your birthday suit to win $100,000. Well, yeah. And here's the thing. I don't care about. Now, my wife, people on TV, certainly the cameramen, they may care a whole lot about old Boss Hogg running around in the savannah naked and all of that. Me, whatever. It would probably bother me for about 5 minutes or so. And after that, whatever. I'm not worried about being naked for 21 days. I'm worried about having skin exposed to that sunshine that isn't normally exposed to the sunshine. There's some places that you just don't want to get sunburned, right? And there's way too many episodes of Naked and Afraid that have all kinds of little biting insects and fleas and mosquitoes and all of that. And way too many people complaining about where those critters land. Once again, you go outside in the summertime. Yeah, it's not great when they bite you on the arm or the neck or the face or whatever, but there's a whole lot worse places they could be biting. So that was the part that would bother me about being in the birthday suit for 21 days. But beyond that, I was going to say it'd be a lot of fun. Actually, it'd be absolutely miserable. I hate the cold. That would be my Achilles heel. If they send me somewhere where it gets cold, rains, and gets freezing cold at night, that would take every bit of discipline I have to stay in there. But I'd go for it. I'm not going to turn down any kind of challenge. I love Naked and Afraid. So fun watching people push themselves beyond what we think is maybe possible. And a lot of times they do it. Now, sometimes they fall short, and there's nothing horrible about that. But sometimes these people put up with stuff that I just don't see humans being able to put up with, and they do it. So I'm very proud of some of those people on there. All right. Werewolf Mask. I love the name. Werewolf Mask. Start summer marching band for my soon-to-be high school tomorrow. Talking about hot. I've seen. I wasn't involved in band myself, but I see how hard band members work. Hydrate a lot because you're going to be out in those parking lots. You're going to be out in those fields marching in the heat of the day. I know it takes a lot of effort, so congratulations. That's pretty cool. Find some video and send it to me once y'all get y'all's performances going on. That'd be pretty cool. And Ma says starting marching band in college on August 12th. There you go. Same thing, Ma. And of course, if you've done it in high school, you may be familiar with it a little bit more. But yeah, that's a lot of work. I feel for those guys. I mean, I played football in high school and junior high and all that. And at least, we would play hard, but you get over to the sidelines and you get a little drinks and we'd go in for halftime and all that. Y'all guys in the band, it seems like y'all are up there the whole time playing. And then halftime you're out there having to do the marching and all that. It's really cool. I went to A&M, which has a different kind of marching band. We don't have your typical show band. Is that the right word? I don't know. We have the military marching band. So it's all about precision, playing, marching in step with each other and very straight lines. It's just different. Look up YouTube for Fighting Texas Aggie Band. It's what they're called. Trust me, if you haven't seen the Aggie Band before, look it up on YouTube and just watch one or two performances. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. When I was in college, we never left at halftime to get drinks or go to the bathroom until after the Aggie Band had performed, and then we would. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So congratulations to both of y'all. That's cool. I wish I had some musical ability. I got nothing, which is probably why I like to sing and hum and things like that, because I sure can't play music. I wish I could, but I took piano as a kid. I can still play the scales. There's one or two songs that I could fight my way through and all that. But yeah, y'all guys have the musical talent. Not this guy. All right, gosh, 7:54 already. Wow, it's quick night. Marianne saying, have you ever thought of a good new twist for Big Brother? I've pushed one. I actually thought of it while I was in the house, and I continue to push it. If Big Brother, we used to get $500,000, then they bumped it up to 750. They could put it up to $1 million, and I think that'd be fair. But what if every week you could buy, with some of your winnings, you could buy an advantage? Maybe they'd say, okay, guys, this week there's an advantage. It's going to help you on the veto competition. We can't tell you what it is, but if you want it, either it's going to cost you $20,000 and anyone who wants it can buy it, or there's only one available. Everyone's going to have to bid for it. Whoever bids the most gets the advantage. And if you bid $25,000, that means if you win at the end of the season, instead of getting $750,000, you only get $725,000, right? So let that prize money actually play a role in the game itself. How much are you willing to spend to protect you just a little bit? Because there are weeks when I was in the house where I would have easily said $50,000. If it gives me an advantage this week, I'll take it, because I knew my life was on the line that week. There's other weeks where I felt pretty safe and I probably wouldn't have done it. But here's where the kicker really would come in. What if you felt completely safe, but one of your alliance partners was in trouble, and they said, look, for $10,000, you can buy an advantage, and your alliance partner is over there saying, come on, you got to help save me. If I'm not saved, then you're not. You can have someone really get upset if you aren't willing to spend your money to help save them and things like that. I feel like it could create a lot of animosity and things like that. If you spend your money and you don't win at the end, well, whatever. That's it. But if you win, they deduct whatever you spent for advantages throughout. I think there's something that maybe could be said to do something like that, but I don't know. That'd be fun, just to get people a little more thinking about the money at the end throughout the whole season. Every decision they make. That'd be kind of cool. All right, Johnny's saying, would you play again? Absolutely. If they call, I'd do it. Talk to my family first, because it's a group decision. But yeah, I'd love to play again. BB21 was my first season, and you were my favorite. Well, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Let me see what the other part was on there. I'd love to see you play again. Well, thank you. It would be fun. Who knows? Who knows how the world turns out? If I never play again, that's all right. I got a heck of an experience, a heck of a chance playing the game. If they ever call and they want me to play again, if they want me to go out and host a competition, if they just want to give me a camcorder and say, you can sit behind the mirrors and just film what we do, whatever. I like staying involved with Big Brother and reality TV just because it was such a cool, it was so unique to everything else I've ever done in my life, right? I'm an engineer. I work in the oil field. I don't do TV stuff. And suddenly to be in Burbank on a soundstage, to be talking to Julie Chen, to be in front of cameras and people listening to everything I say, it was just different. It's one of the reasons I do this, because I love talking reality TV. So yeah, I'd go back and do it again if I got a chance to experience it. So CBS, call me. You've got my number, so give me a call. All right, 7:58. We're gonna wrap this up pretty quick. Ms. Fire saying, instead of Vito having immunity idol with a Probst cameo. Now, wouldn't that be cool, right? Or yeah, that's pretty cool. Or what if you did something like this? I don't think it'll ever happen in a million years. Jeff Probst is so involved in Survivor, right? I mean, he doesn't just greet you as you walk out off the island on the boat or whatever. He's there at tribal council challenging people with questions and bringing up sensitive topics and all that. What if Julie Chen did that one season, where instead of her just sitting on the soundstage, she actually said, all right, house guests, it's time to assemble for the eviction ceremony. But before we do that, let me ask so-and-so, what'd you think when so-and-so put you on the block? Or how comfortable do you feel that you're safe tonight? So-and-so. If she played a more active role and challenged some of the people and forced them to actually have some conversations that maybe they didn't want to have. That week that Nicole was so bullied by the Grateful Eight, Undeniable Nine, whatever, what if Julie had challenged them at the eviction where Nicole and I are sitting on the block, and she starts saying, guys, do you think it's reasonable the way y'all called her out? And Nick, do you trust what they said? Do you believe them when they said Nicole was lying? There's some cool things you could do with that. I don't think Julie Chen will ever do that, but it would be fun to see Jeff Probst do something, have a cameo, or have someone do something similar to what they do. See a little overlap between the two games. That would be kind of cool. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe someone's watching. Maybe someone, if they do it this summer, it's us that get the credit for it, right? And we'll take credit. We absolutely will. All right. We're going to shut down because it is 8 o'clock. So much. I knew we had a lot to talk about tonight. So thank you guys. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the questions. They're always fun hearing y'all's thoughts and all that. So we'll shut it down. 8 o'clock. I hope y'all have a fantastic week. Sunday is Father's Day. So y'all don't forget your fathers. I know some of them are still with us. Some of them may not be, but remember the fathers, the father figures, everyone in your life that's played that role, and thank him on Sunday. Tell some stories of my dad maybe next week or something. We'll see. But y'all have a great week. Stay inside, stay cool. If you're doing marching band, hydrate a lot. You have a great one. As I said at the very beginning, if you have not already gone out to do so, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications. Thumbs up, like is always appreciated. But guys, I just appreciate y'all being here. So with that, SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all. Have a great week. I will see y'all again next Monday. But between now and then, if you got any questions, shoot me a DM. I'll either use them on the show next week or I'll just respond directly to you because I love talking about this stuff. Y'all have a good one, guys. Cheers, my friends.